Hi, my name is Christopher Mitchell. I'm here to talk about Superman, the movie. Just some other things I would like to talk about as well, other than just the movie. But the movie is the focus point. But since the movie was filmed here in Cleveland, I would like to discuss the filming location, history of Superman, and my connection with Superman overall.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States will
representing
cause
anybody
more
except for me
problems around the world.
and doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. Somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You have a dog?
All right, I hope you guys can hear me clear. I have a new microphone set up, and it's the first time I'm actually trying it. So this video is to talk about the new Superman film. I watched it a couple of days ago. There will be spoilers in this review, of course. So if you haven't seen the film, if you're planning on seeing the film, I strongly suggest you don't rush this review until afterwards. So this film opened up with Clark Kent already Superman. And I thought it was a fascinating way to open up the film. This is the first movie of a new DC universe. As we know, DCEU unfortunately failed, and they're moving on from that. And now I think it's called the DCE, or is it DCU? Who cares? Doesn't matter. The point I'm making is that it is a new universe. So we have a new Superman, and sometime down the road we will be getting a new Batman, new Flash. I think only one staying so far, as we know right now, would be Peacemaker, played by John Cena. Season 2 of Peacemaker is dropping soon, and he does make a cameo in the Superman film. So going into this movie, my biggest worry was that the movie might be overstuffed. I was worried that it's going to be too many characters for the first DCU movie, because you have obviously Superman, Lois, Lex, Mr. Terrific, Jim Olsen, Cat Grant. I forget the boss name, but him as well. And then you have four superheroes. Wow, I forget the one guy's name, but he got the ability to manipulate his body to turn to different elements. And then you have Hawk Girl, Guy, aka the Green Lantern. You have to set up those three characters, plus a fourth character, another superhero like I just mentioned, the guy who could manipulate his body. But you also set up all these other main characters. Like it's a lot. It's a lot to do in one movie. The good thing is this is written and directed by James Gunn. We all know he is really good at doing this. Uh, the biggest example would be Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie is also with a lot of characters. I'm talking just the first one. Have a lot of characters, and he's able to like get you to like and understand every single character in just the first movie alone. So knowing that he written and directed really does help out. And we, like I just said, beginning of this review, the movie starts several years into Superman's career, and I thought it was a fascinating way to open up the film, where it's like 3 years ago, or no, 15, 20 years ago, whatever. Metahumans was there, and then 3 years ago, Clark became Superman. 2 minutes ago, he just had a fight. A second ago, he just got his ass kicked, and then they saw him landing in up there near his Fortress of Solitude. And then right then we get to meet the robots who live in the Fortress of Solitude. It was actually really cool. I really like the design of the robots that was living in his home. I thought that was really cool design. And then we get to meet also Crypto the dog. That's another character in the film. He go back to the city to fight the. What did he go back to? Oh, not the monster. He go back to the city to fight the other the other Superman. But at the point, it's at the point in the film where they don't tell you who's under the mask. He's in the mask, but also have a giant suit on because he's playing another villain. All of this is manipulated by Lex Luthor. He got countries fighting one another. He have the fake Superman as well fighting for him. He's doing all of this basically because he hates Superman. He hates metahumans, but he just really hates Superman, which is a weird thing to say, but in a way I understand. I always understood Lex dislike towards Superman. Superman had the power basically of a god and can do whatever he wants. You know, in this movie, it's not really the case. It's not like he's too worried about that. He's more hating Superman because of the love he got. And Lex, no one loves Lex like that. He's a manipulator and he's like piece of shit type of person. So you have Lex as the main villain. He is manipulating a lot of different things just to get Superman. Like the whole film is really just him doing all these crazy things to get Superman. And so there's a fight between the fake Superman. You don't really get to see that it is like it's just a fake Superman. It's a clone of Superman. You don't get to know that until the third act of the film. And I have speculation that the clone of Superman is going to end up becoming Bizarro Superman in the future. At least that's what I think. I could be wrong. We have no idea. I know he fought him at the end of the movie. He ended up getting sucked into a black hole. I think he's gonna come back as Bizarro Superman, which I really hope that's what they're heading to for the sequel or maybe even the third film. Superman was filmed here in Cleveland, Ohio, which was amazing to see. lucky for me, I was able to see some of the shooting here. It was right in downtown area, which is an area I don't live too far from, and plus I work in the area of downtown Cleveland, so I was able to see several different things being shot. And plus, they also filmed they filmed on Euclid. If you're a Clevelander, it makes sense. If you're not a Clevelander, you're probably like, okay, I don't know this. They filmed on Euclid over there near God's Pizza, and they changed the God's Pizza shop as well to like a pizza shop that's in Nootropolis in the movie. They also filmed right in front of the Cleveland Library, which we get to see that shot right at the end of the movie. Well, no, I think it's a post-credit scene where Superman and Mr. Terrific is staring at the wall. That is the Cleveland Library right there. There's a couple of shots where Hawk Girl, you can see this in the trailer actually. There's a shot where Hawk Girl is screaming and flying downward. You can see Tower City right behind her. And then there's a shot where Superman is fighting the big monster in the movie, and he's right in front of Tower City, and right in front of also that real restaurant that sits in the park in front of Tower City as well. I took some shots of downtown Cleveland yesterday to show you where some of the shots in the movies were taken. I'll post some here as well, just to get an idea of what I'm saying. But yeah, this was a fascinating movie for so many reasons. This is a set. This is to set up a new universe and set up the new Superman. Clark Kent's relationship with his adopted parents was way more better than I thought it was going to be. I can't lie. When I saw the pictures of the Kent family, I was kind of skeptical, just because I'm kind of just used to the actor and actress on Smallville. So it's weird to see anyone else as Ma and Pa Kent, honestly. Because when I think of the Kents, I think of them almost immediately. So these people that play the Kent look nothing like that version, and they were just more country. I'm not used to them speaking with that accent, even though it makes sense for the Kents to have an accent, considering what part of America they will live in. Like them not having an accent actually should be more weirder to them having an accent, but since I've never seen the version where they have an accent, it kind of did throw me off. Well, talk about throw off. As a Clevelander, it does take you out of the film just a little bit as you're watching the film, and you know the movie take place in Metropolis, but a lot of the shots are Cleveland, so I couldn't help be taken out of the film at times. So I'm thinking, oh man, that's Tower City, that's downtown, that's in the flats, that's near Lake Erie or whatever. So it kind of does take you out of the film if you're from Cleveland and you know the area really well. Can't help but notice all the architecture of Cleveland buildings and etc. So I'm talking about now the characters individually, starting with Superman. Superman, aka Clark Kent, was pretty amazing, honestly. I like this version a lot more better than the last one, honestly. I did like the Man of Steel movie, but this version of Superman felt it more like a real person. I think the biggest problem with the Man of Steel version of Superman is that he didn't really show emotion. This Superman showed a lot of emotion, which is something that I heard a lot of people complaining about, which I think is a really dumb complaint, honestly. Because why wouldn't you want Superman not to be emotional? Why wouldn't you not want him to feel like a human, like a real person? And that's something I very much like. And then you have Clark Kent. Oh man, it's so weird how he switched back and forth. It reminded me of the 1970s version of Superman, where like it's the same, it's the same actor, but in a way it doesn't really feel like it, just because his mannerism is so different. Which I would like to get into also. This weird thing I've always heard my entire life is like, people always said that it doesn't make any sense for Clark to be able to hide his identity by just simply putting on glasses. I think people misunderstand that. It's not just putting on glasses. It's also his stand. It's also the way he talks, the way he moves, the way he do everything. And besides, I think people don't realize that the average day person don't know Clark, and the average day person don't even see Superman up close and personal. Clark is a news reporter, so no, most people are not caring about, like, think about news reporters in your town. Do you really know how they all look? Like, even if you was a fan of them in some way or another, you probably just read the articles they make or write. You don't really sit there and look them up and keep in mind like how they look. I mean, yeah, some people do probably do that, but generally speaking, a lot of people are not caring what a news reporter look like. And then Superman, when are you going to see Superman? They're not really taking great pictures of Superman, put them in the front page article or anything. Most of the pictures of Superman probably of a blur. It's probably of him just simply saving someone and someone snapping a picture real quick, or if you're in person, I say you're most likely in danger. And if you're in danger, I don't think you're focused on Superman's face. Even if he was right in front of you, you probably would be too freaked out what the hell's going on, that you wouldn't be sitting there analyzing like, oh, that dude look kind of familiar. Like, you wouldn't be doing that. You'd be running, trying to get out of there. Or he'd be trying to pick you up and zoom you off to a safety area to go back to fight wherever he need to fight or whatever. So I think it makes total sense to me that simply him wearing glasses would fool people. And it's just not, again, it's not just glasses, it's how he walk, it's how he talk. There's this cool scene in the movie where Superman, whatever you call him, it was getting, well, it was Superman technically. Superman was getting interviewed by Lois Lane. And you can see a switch between Clark and then into Superman. The way Superman, the way he was sitting and the way he was talking, and then when we became Superman for the interview, the way he like just simply move his posture, just simply how he deepened his voice, and it's like he almost, as he becomes Superman, he became more confident. We have to say, I actually like that scene a lot. Him doing that interview, he shows so much emotion, so much range as Superman, and I can't wait to see Superman 2 for that reason alone. I'm gonna see how does Superman feel about certain issues in the world. But anyway, before I go too much of a rant of Superman, let me jump to a different character, Lois Lane. I think this portrayal of Lois Lane might be in my top 5 at least. Typically, I don't pay too much attention to Lois Lane, if I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really paid attention to that character until that show that came out recently, Superman Lois. And I think I paid attention to Lois a little bit more just because the show was called Superman and Lois, but also I didn't like the portrayal of Lois in the show, to be honest. I'm bringing up the show because it is a big reason why I think the movie did a better job. The show, it felt like the show made her more whinier and less interesting as a character. And I think in the movie, she seemed like a stronger character, and she seemed way more interesting as a character. I walked away actually wanting to know more about Lois Lane. I said top three because no, a top five or in the top five because the other Lois Lane versions I've liked is the '90s version and the anime version, and then also Smallville did her really well. She came across way more tougher in Smallville, and then also this movie. I can't wait to see more of her. Can't wait to learn more. And I don't know. I think the actress actually looked like Lois Lane. She looked like the. She kind of reminded me of the '90s anime version. She looked a little bit more like that, which probably helped as well. All right, so next character, Jimmy Olsen. I'm used to Jimmy Olsen being a redhead or the Supergirl version where it's a black dude. I'm used to the nerdy version of Jimmy Olsen, which he was still a little bit nerdy in this version, but he also was a lady killer. That was interesting. Um, we didn't spend too much time with the character, but I am looking forward to seeing what they do with him next. He had this weird thing with one of the other characters. I forget her name at the moment, but he had this weird thing. Lex's girlfriend. He has this weird thing with her, or she was obsessed with him. But he also was constantly getting hit on. I thought that was kind of funny, kind of cool. Let's see. I can't really say much about the boss. He was just kind of there. I'm so sorry about all the noise. It is awful loud here. The boss. It's not much I can say about him, honestly. He was just there. I didn't walk away thinking like, oh, I want to know more about him, honestly. But I didn't like dislike him. He felt more like what he felt like. He felt like that felt like a character. That didn't feel like a real person. Cause he was chomping out on a cigar for almost every scene he was in, and it didn't feel like a real person. So hopefully, going forth, they'll give more to him. Cause I feel like he was just kind of there, but kind of like whatever. Let's see, where am I? And then you had the Justice Gang, Mrs. Terrific. He low-key stole the goddamn show. Honestly, he was amazing. His tech was cool. The way he talked was kind of cool. He was an all-around cool character. That's a character you walk away and be like, yeah, I want to know more about Mr. Terrific. I want to see more of his gadgets. I want to see more of his what more he can do. He's a very smart character. My only other version I know of Mr. Terrific, honestly, is from CW. Arrow. I thought they did a pretty good job with that one as well. I love his jacket. I love the jacket. I forgot what it say on his arm. Play something. Ah man, I wish I can remember right now. But oh well. I don't say something on the sleeve, and it says just something very interesting. Who cares? No, I know the jacket's dope as hell. Um, the mask. That's what I was wanted to talk about. The mask fit perfectly on his face, which looks really cool. I don't know if that would keep your identity from people so easily in broad daylight. In broad daylight, you can see his face pretty clearly, honestly. But at nighttime or in a dark scene, that would be obviously then you wouldn't be able to tell who the hell it is. I could be wrong, maybe, because again, it'll be the same thing with Clark. Like maybe some simple as put somebody's face would hide your identity more than I think it would. And does anyone know Mr. Terrific outside of being Mr. Terrific? Like, I don't like what's his real name? What he do outside of being a superhero? Who knows? I really don't know much about the character. Again, other than the CW version. And then I've seen photos of him in comic books, but I don't think I've read in comic books where he was in, unfortunately. But it was a fascinating character. Can't wait to see more of him. Uh, Guy, aka the Green Lantern. I've seen photos of that character, but I don't know nothing about him. I know he's a complete douche, low key. Past that, I don't really know a character. I love the Green Lanterns. I'm used to the other two. Like I love the power of the Green Lantern and the power of all the other rings as well. But this was a new character for me. The character in this movie was interesting. I actually walked in. I'm not gonna lie though. I walked in thinking, why would they get this actor to play him? He seemed a little too old to be playing this character, but he plays him really well. So I kind of get it why they got him. So that was interesting take on the character. Again, I don't know much about him, so. And then Hawk Girl, I do know that character a lot. I've seen so many different versions of Hawk Girl at this point, especially in the last recent years. Because I had the character in Legends of Tomorrow. They had the character in Arrow. They had the character. I've seen like the '90s version. I'm trying to think. Justice League Unlimited. That's the series. Justice League Unlimited, and then also the first Justice League show. So I'm used to the character. I can't lie. I've never been a fan of Hawk Girl. I've never disliked the character, but I've never been a huge fan of the character. I actually like this version. I like this version a lot. I think it's Hog Guy I never liked. I always found Hog Guy to be like creepy and odd and weird because he's always trying to force his love on the Hog Girl. So I never really cared for that character at all. Her, I just didn't care for it that much. And this movie was interesting. I thought it was funny though. Every time she goes to attack, she does scream. So like every single time she's fighting, she's just screaming her head off. That was kind of funny, but it is accurate from my understanding now. That's what Hawks legit do in a fight is scream for whatever reason. So I'm looking forward to that character. I know she also going to appear in the three characters I just mentioned is going to appear in Peacemaker season 2. So I'm looking forward to our next thing she's going to be in. Okay, then you have I forget this character's name once again. I'm so sorry. I don't start with an M. And the character got the ability to morph into like different elements. In the movie, he is being controlled by Lex because he have his baby, and so he's in the. We meet him in the in the not alternate universe, but the other dimension. And Lex forced him to basically hold Superman prisoner or contain Superman while he was in the cell by turning his hand into kryptonite. Because at the beginning of the film, we learned that there is no more kryptonite for whatever reason. I don't remember if they explain why there's no more kryptonite on Earth, but there is no more kryptonite. So he had this alien who can shapeshift into practically anything, and not everything, anything, but like into different elements, and he's able to do kryptonite, force them down into the cell like wild power or whatever. That character was okay. I do remember seeing that character in something. I just can't remember what. As like some type of animated type of movie or show he was in, but I never paid attention to that character, so I ain't know nothing about him for real. I thought it was interesting. I didn't walk away thinking like, oh, I want to see more of him. Honestly, I was kind of like, that was a cool character, whatever. You know, he's part of the Justice Gang, so we probably is going to see more of him. I think it's all the main characters I can think of. Cause like some of the characters, like Cat Grant, she didn't really. I don't think she had no speaking lines. I might be wrong, but I don't recall her speaking at all in this movie. Now I think about it, and only thing I know that character from is again outside the movie will be Supergirl. She was a big character in season one, Supergirl, and then she made some appearance and throughout the throughout the whole series. That's the Cat Grant I'm used to. This Cat Grant was a lot younger than that, so she was she was a completely different character, and they didn't really. I don't remember her speaking, so I don't have that much of a feeling about that. I think I talked about all the characters so far. If I'm missing a character, my bad. Let's see. So yeah, just this movie had a lot of action in it. It was amazingly written, amazingly directed. I love the camera shots throughout the movie. Like it was just, I thought some camera shots was actually was very interesting. There was very weird shots here throughout the movie. I can't think of none at the moment except for or at least the one that I can think of the most is give me a second. This is loud. All right, so there's there's a couple of shots in the film I thought was very interesting. The one that stands out to the most for me is the beginning where Superman is flying through the Arctic. That was really amazing. Honestly, it's in the trailer, but the trailer I think the shot wasn't finished because it looks a little weird when I first saw it in the trailer. But when you see it in the movie, I think it looks a little more smoother and it looks incredible. And in the shot, it just feels like you're really flying with Superman at that moment. And it's cool how like he's on a mission to do something very serious, but then he also like BSing and doing tricks and stuff like that. That's some dumb stuff I would have done honestly. I'll be over there playing too damn much. Oh, I'm missing characters now. Think about it. I ain't missing the dog at once. I ain't missing the dog not one time. Um, the dog Crypto. Always like that character. Um, it's kind of crazy. I remember being a kid thinking that character was actually brand new, and then my dad's like, "No, the character's been around since forever." Um, that's my only like memory of the character is me not knowing that it was a lot older than it really was. I think like in the 2000s they made a crypto song. That's a song. They made a crypto show. Um, and I think that's how I got introduced to the character. But this see, I was skeptical about this version because it wasn't the same dog I'm used to. It's a completely different type of breed versus the one that I'm used to. So I was kind of skeptical about it, but I was wrong. I walked away actually really liking Crypto, and then there's a twist which some of y'all might have heard it online before the movie even came out that Crypto wasn't even Superman dog in his version. Crypto was actually Supergirl dog, and he just basically babysitting. He's babysitting the dog. The other character I forgot to mention was Supergirl, even though she only makes like a two like 2 second cameo towards the end of the film just to pick up her dog, and it's kind of crazy. She appeared for maybe 2 seconds, and I can't lie, I already like the character. I'm already looking forward to the Supergirl movie is coming out next year. I think it's called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Like I'm already looking forward to that just for her little couple of seconds because she's come in and she basically thanks Superman for taking her dog, but she does it in this way where I thought it was funny. And I feel like this is the first time Supergirl feel like a character or feel like a person. They always make Supergirl and Superman feel way too noble. I think that's one thing that never really worked. They feel way too noble. They feel way too godlike. And I think in this feature film, they made them feel way more human. And so she come back from her trip. Basically, they can't get drunk on Earth because of the power, because of their powers. and the sun that is feeding her power. So what she like to do is go off world to a planet that have a red sun. She's less powered, and so therefore she can get drunk. So she took a vacay or a trip out off planet just to get drunk. And I feel like that was very interesting to do that because she's a young girl, or I should say, young woman who, what young people do. They get drunk. They go out and they party. I mean, unlike my lame ass, but real young people, they actually go out and party and have fun. And I just thought that was a very interesting take instead of making her all noble. I was a big fan of the Supergirl show on CW, and they never. It was times where I'm like, why is she so damn? She was kind of uptight at times, and she was almost unrelatable at times because of how she was not fun. She was not a fun character. Like I even think I said sometimes like this. I wouldn't hang out with Supergirl in that show. I'm like, she seemed boring. It seemed somewhat annoying to be around. So this version seemed fun, and she was in. Keep in mind, she was in the movie for maybe 2 seconds, and she already seemed more funner than any other version of Supergirl I've ever seen. So to come to my conclusion, Superman, I would give Superman a full price. I think it was something that you should go out and see in the movie theater. I think it's something that is worth spending the money to go see. It will be fun to go out with your friends or with family members. It's a movie I probably will go out and go see again. Wow, look at that. You made it to the end of the video. You might as well hit the like button, subscribe, follow us on social media, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next video.